forever. They try to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright. They try to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright. Turn on your record player and run into a world of beautiful collaboration. Meditate on the melody, lyric, and the one drop. Don't stop until the revelation come. And now it's time to get clever. They tried to yell quit, but we reply never. They opened up the trap door, pulled on the lever, but we made a quick escape, and now we make it last forever. They trying to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright. They try to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright.
Switch up the melody, sound up the siren. They say eventually we're burning ash in the fire. They break us down with the music, make us high. There's a lesson in a message when revealed it gets quiet. Yeah, there's something in the air tonight. I catch a vibe when the feeling's right. And kill the silence, ring the alarm. Sound the siren.
They try to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright. They try to break you down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. When all of this together, it's alright, alright.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. I got another roundtable episode for you, and we're going to be talking about the social credit system, not only the one in the China, but obviously the one that's coming to everywhere near you under the dome. So, but before we get into that, like always, we're going to say hello to those who are on the panel. And then we will get into the topic of the night. So without further ado, let's say hello to everyone who has joined us. We got me and Vader Bear and Aetherial Creation, Zachariah and Kyle here. And we also got our dear brother Robert with us. Welcome, brother. Frankie B may join us later. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully we took a couple weeks off. I want to really get back into it, but we had Purim and some other things came up. So appreciate to those who are still around and excited for another show. So welcome, brother Robert. Good to see you. Shalom.
And shalom to you.
It's actually still Shabbat Shalom to us.
Okay, fine, but not here. It is staying longer, but it is 9. It's after 9 o'clock here, so
yeah,
it is dark.
Yep.
So yeah, I I love that you guys got servants that serve you coffee. Oh, goodness.
Yes, our lovely wives have made our coffee for us.
Nice. Nice.
Sweet, awesome. Well, good to see you, brother. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well. It's been a long few weeks getting adjusted here and working a lot of overtime, but just making it all happen, trying to deal with the blows as they come.
Yeah, running and gunning, in life, and that's pretty much like what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly right. So.
Well, sweet, bro. We had a great. We like I said before, we have a local congregation that we're kind of starting. We're sharing homes. This week we're over at Kyle's house, so that was awesome. Francisco from the week from the episode before, and his family, and it's growing. So we're quite excited about that, and we're getting our plan set for Sukkot. So we're pretty excited about that as well. So. Anyways, all right, let's get into it. So we got quite a bit of videos to share, but before we get into that, I just want to kind of talk about it like we always do, discuss kind of where we're at on it, what we think about it, before we jump into the videos. So let me throw it over to you first, Robert. Give us your thoughts and opinions about it, about social credit system and what that could mean, and your thought, like what you've heard about it, etc.
I heard what you guys probably already heard also. Sounds kind of neat in some fashion, because, if you're a good guy doing everything right, you can get good deals. It's kind of like having a nice little, your Meyer card or Kroger card. The more you use it, the more points you get. And it sounds so great. And if you report other people, you can get some points for reporting people. So, bonus, right? But if you go a little fast on the road or, you do other things that aren't wrong, then your score can go down. You want to go to the store, buy a loaf of bread, they say, well, no, can't have a loaf of bread. We'll get you 2 slices, though. So, it don't sound that great. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. We could totally hear you fine. We just couldn't. You were lagging your camera for some reason, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was flipping my screen around because I noticed that it was reading backwards.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, no, dude, it's pretty crazy because it's, I guess to us who are already kind of conspiratorial minded, and then put that on with scriptures where basically we know that some type of system like this is going to come, right? And as we've talked about the other different parts of like smart cities and AI integration and all those things. Man, I really wish I would stop doing that. But it totally distracted me. But with the social credit system, it's just one more puzzle piece. It's one more thing that they're going to use to create the B system, right? And so they're kind of laying the foundation, the groundwork for all of these different systems, and eventually those systems are going to combine into one. And it's probably going to be in the form of like one corporation is the government. Like that's what kind of makes sense to me. And it's like, kind of seems like Tesla or Elon is kind of that person, right? He has all these multi-billion-dollar companies under his wing, like of all these different things, right? It's not just all things rockets or all things cars. It's like this vast array of different of businesses. So, anyways. And so, like I totally think AI is contributing into this social credit system, right? Because it needs to be able to say, when you see someone doing this, this is bad, and when you see someone doing this, this is good, and they have to be able to track it. There's no way a group of people sitting at monitors could track every single person and write every single thing, right? So they have to have some type of intelligence behind that, and algorithms, things that they've taught the AI to look for that are no. And so this, they couldn't have a social credit system with some type of artificial intelligence. So yeah, to me, they go right hand in hand. This is going to go right hand in hand with like smart cities and with all the different forms. So that's my kind of thoughts. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I'd say that the mark of the beast would need or require such a self-governed, self-contained system that everything in it either is controlled through one overhead control where it's a
Skynet.
Yeah, essentially you're part of like a hive, and one component of it doesn't work without the other, and there is no room for rebellion. It's like,
well, and kind of, I think some kind of to your point is how like this could be the basis for the intelligence to put that in like AI integration into human beings, right? Like they first need to figure out what's good and what's bad, right? Like they need to go through those systems and get that data to then be able to connect everyone to say this is acceptable behavior. You know what I mean? And I feel like at that point, everyone's going to be the camera. Everyone's going to be, and they're already talking about. We kind of talked about it in AI
Wi-Fi
integration with the that like. No, we're going to get rid of phones. Now it's all going to be all augmented reality. You're going to be wearing glasses, and those glasses is how you are going to interact socially and for business. And
also that it was your biometric data that was received that would be telling all the factors about yourself and how you feel and what specific chemicals are going through your body, so they can predictively
dude, you get stopped by a cop, right? And I bet you if they had enough data set, they could tell when someone was nervous because he was just a cop, and when someone was nervous because they were doing something illegal.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I believe it.
Like
Absolutely.
They could see, okay, this is the range,
and then they go and start looking for anybody who
hits
has
that
ever
range.
hits
Yeah.
that range.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
yeah.
And then it's almost like social credit score goes right to almost kind of like Minority Report, where you're going to start getting in trouble. Like
for things you haven't even done.
Well, yeah, and things that you've done in the past, right? And
Sure.
things that you could possibly do in the future.
Like, is there a statute of limitations or anything like that on things? It's like only things done there.
Well, yeah, and what if the social credit system? What if when they first go it on, it needs X amount of data going forward, and then once it gets that data set, it can say, okay, I'm going to look at all the data we've had stored up for 20 years
right.
and go through all of it,
and
right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right, and they could do things like, I think about what is that, RoboCop, right? And especially the new one, because it kind of shows it a little bit more, where
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Well, yeah, not only that aspect, but or another good example is Dredd, the Judge Dredd movie. Like that society where they have all of that information on you, your biometrics, where you live, like all attached. Like I don't know if y'all remember, there was like a video 10, maybe 20 years, like it was a long time ago, but it was like someone calling in to order a pizza, and they're like, oh, well, we see on that your doctor said that you can't have any high cholesterol things, so we need to give you a vegetarian pizza. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's making this order or whatever, but they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to charge you more money because, and they basically were like, because you're going to be a big medical thing, like a liability to the medical system, we need to charge you more to do that.
Sure. And they technically already do that in some regards, where they're like, if they know you're a smoker, or if they know you have certain,
your premiums are higher,
or if you're like if you go paragliding or a skydiver or something like that, your premiums go up. So it's just, yeah, you get in a lot of car accidents, they can raise your premium. It's just by, even if they're not anything involved with you.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just you were just there, just got unlucky or whatever, and they're like, well, because you're unlucky, premiums going up.
Yeah, and think about just like the fact that how many people have, and who knows how much of this is staged and set up anyways, but how many like celebrities or kind of people in the limelight where their 10-year-old tweets got brought up and now they're getting in trouble for something they said 10 years ago. Like, if you think about that, a 20-year-old to a 30-year-old, that's a lot of maturity, right? So something you said 10 years ago, you probably don't even believe. Like, as a Christian,
I know,
there are things that I don't believe that, like, 10 years ago that I would...
Oh, absolutely.
If I would have talked to myself from 10 years ago, I'd have been like, you're a heretic, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like... so they could totally go back into that data that they've collected, right? And start getting people in trouble. You know, who knows? Or maybe that's a pressure point to get you to switch over to a smart city, or, you know.
Sure, use it to build a case to convince somebody to, like, work as some type of opposition for them.
Yeah.
Like, use it to blackmail somebody to do something for
them.
and
think about the how they use this against people within the limelight, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Especially, well, that's what I was going to say. Especially if even if you have a small influence on a certain category or a certain topic, like, it wouldn't be beyond me to think that they would try to coerce and coax somebody with blackmail and, you know, just anything they can pull from all devices of you that AI can just, like, pull a picture up.
Hey, so Shane Gillis, we see that you have some kind of things you shouldn't have on your... like, this is completely made up, not real. I guess I shouldn't use a real name. Let's call him Gary.
That's a real name too. What's a fake name? I don't know. They're all real.
Jebediah. He's with the Amish, so he's not gonna see this, and he's not gonna file suit. So, Jebediah, you know, like, they totally do that, man. They totally get that information on them, and they say, hey, do you want cake or death? You know what I mean? They really give them that option. Hey, do you want to live the limelight and do all these things?
Yeah, we'll give you your hopes and dreams.
Yeah, all the things you ever wanted, you know, expired for, those will be, like, at your lap. All you got to do is sell this Bud Light. All you got to do is just keep talking about how you love drinking that poison. You know what I mean? And I'm not going against anyone who, you know, drinks every once in a while or whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, they subliminally sell small things like that. So, of course, they're going to do big, you know, not only theological but philosophical, like, manipulations on people for similar ends. So, alrighty, well, without further ado, let's start getting into some. We got quite a bit of videos. We're going to show Kyle's here first. So let me pull this up. Okay. Alright, let's check this out.
MasterCard and the United Nations are joining forces to monitor the carbon effect of your credit card purchases. And then you'll hit your carbon max, and it'll stop working. Hey, of course, it's voluntary, for now. The new credit card is called Doconomy. And on the back of the card, it's going to say, I am taking responsibility for every transaction I make to help protect the planet. This is a social credit score, and it's a proof of concept. The Doconomy CO2 credit card website claims it is the largest initiative ever taken by a bank in educating its users on the impact of consumption. They say themselves they want to set a global standard for carbon calculations. That's the key. Once they have their numbers in place, then they can give every single purchase you make a score and punish you directly. This is what China does. And of course, this will only be enforced on you and me and any businesses that don't go along with their scheme. And banks are going to enforce it.
it's of course it's through the financial system, and it's like we talked about the smart cities. It's like if you live in the smart city, yeah, your money is good inside the smart city, maybe 5 miles outside of the smart city, but you go past a certain point, your stuff is just shut off. Yeah.
It's like tokens at the arcade.
Yep. Only good there.
1级150分1级，意味着你
Is this, I think it's like on faster, isn't it? Yeah.
意味着你将来坐飞机呀、高消费呀，或者是什么贷款呐、都不能做了，都不可以。
Zhang Yingjie co-signed a loan for a friend who later skipped out. He paid his share, but the local court didn't care.
我前2天去淄博，赶上暑假没有票了，我就得买这个头等舱，结果是说你信用度不够，不能买头等舱。我回来没办法，不能还是没有座位，回来坐的大巴，高铁不是3个小时4个小时就到了，大巴车得10个多小时。
4 million people have been blocked from buying high-speed train tickets over low social credit, and more than 11 million from buying flights. To raise his score, Zhang gets in line at a local community office to donate money the government says will go to charity.
Yeah, the charity of their pockets.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this guy thinks it's helping. It's crazy.
That's insane.
捐100的居多，再有捐1000的、600的、500的都有，都可以加分。
Zhang keeps track of his social score closely, but he doesn't keep track of where his donations end up.
你这个具体给谁完了钱？你问具体得问他，我也不知道这个事。我现在已经通过训写，通过捐款啊，通过做义工来给自己加分。
The system might have caused him to suffer.
Probation, like they're like, you must jump through these hoops, do X, Y, and Z in a timely fashion, stand in a line, we'll call you when you're next, you know, you can give us your hard-earned money, you pay for this so you can have either not a better score, but so that your score doesn't continuously go down at the same rate it's going down, because that's what I feel like it would be like, where you may have a set score when you get it or whatever, but like it's always in the diminish unless you're doing things.
Yeah.
That is something that they consider beneficial for society. So you gotta participate.
Yeah, and then if you get down low, right? Like there's a possibility where you could never get out of that hole, right? To get a positive rating.
Like there's no
and then what if they
bankruptcy.
come and say, well, you're such a liability on society. The only way we can think that you'll be good is if we put you at this work camp and you can work off your debt to society.
And literally, you couldn't argue, because they would have their own authority structure and police and judges and everything like that. Like they could just sentence you to death.
Well, we can almost have that at like in a microcosm with HOAs, right? Like if they have this dislike of you, they can 100% affect your life in a negative way, right? And put pressure on you to do the things that they want, right? Like, we don't like those flowers. Okay, so we're going to charge you $100 a day. Those flowers are there. So you either do what we say or you're going to pay for it. You know what I mean? And it's like the same way in China. It's like if you're not donating your blood, if you're not volunteering, if you're not working, it's like that's insane, bro.
They're like not. The government has a system that's there to, and the neighbors even, where they're like, it's almost like competition in the churches when people like put money in the basket and
as loud as they could.
Yeah, exactly. The wider the set, and that person gets it, and they're like, 50 on there, and they know that the person that just laid that on top was you know. Yeah. It's like it's just kind of this appeasement of whatever entity or system that you know that isn't God.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any thoughts there, Robert?
Just FYI, I could not hear the video over Discord. I could hear it on YouTube, but not on Discord. So yeah, it's they're trying to train people for good behavior as part of the way they're doing it. You know, we're all I know monkeys in the cage learning behavior.
Teaching AI behavior while learning behavior.
But Zhang is unwavering in his support for the government's push to score him.
这是通过这种制度来约束很多不自觉的人。
By 2020, China plans to track, rate, reward, and punish all of its citizens, essentially turning every personal experience into a transaction. Not that Zhang minds. He's got his high score back. At least for now.
现在通过做好人好事，通过这个捐款呐、加分呐，我现在高铁票能买了，终于成为正常人了。
I mean, anyone, teens and whatnot, and now in their 20s, even 30s, have played video games, and there's always been the reward system. Oh
yeah.
You lose a life. Oh man! And then you have to go gain points and get that rush of getting your points back and start getting the extra power ups and stuff like that. So it's like a game. It's for real because in this game, you might be just having a little piece of bread and something for dinner. And taking 10 hours to get home.
Well, with a game, right, you can just restart and start a new character, right? It's like with this coming to real life, this gamification of real life, what does that literally cause? It's like, like if you're in the low brackets, you're not having a good time. You know what I mean?
And that's like real in that type of metaphor, but also in the sense like they want us with glasses and goggles over our faces, looking at augmented and virtual reality, and living our life through a filter, blending the lines between that digital and, our actual reality. It's insane. Yeah.
They're like, we can't really bring we can't make a Tron where we can teleport into the digital yet. So let's just bring digital everywhere. You know what I mean?
Till they've come up with certain types of drugs, technological drugs.
There's so many things to that, like walking streets. If everyone had glasses and they were walking streets, they could know when to send out the cleaning crews depending on how dirty it was. They could they would know the 3D structure of everything because they'd have people walking and getting all the various angles.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It would be a walking scanner.
It would probably there would be a box over your head saying oh, this person. Their mom's mother is your mom's
you're playing
friend.
A video game.
Yeah,
exactly.
If I got my glasses on, I could be walking down the street. Hi, Larry. Hi, Susan. Hey, Mike. I know everybody because all the names would be all printed on the front of my glasses. I'd be like, oh, I know everybody.
They could totally sell it too. They'd be, especially to the coming generation, they'll be struggling with remembering your parents' names, your neighbors' names, and you're here, have these,
Never forget again.
Never forget again.
Always have your, the teleprompter. You have a big important meeting right here. It'll give you they're gonna sell it in so many different ways for sure.
All the all the brain damage from the vaccine,
from the jabs,
fluoride, and the chemicals in our air. Yeah.
By the way, Utah is the first state to ban fluoride in the water.
Yep.
No worries, Frankie B. Happy 11th anniversary. I hope it's going well. Alrighty, let's keep checking with the videos.
Excuse me, is there a problem?
This zone's for blue tier only. You're green. Green can only travel in a 2-mile radius.
What? This was a green zone just last week.
For everyone's safety, it is now blue. Boost your credit score to blue tier with the installation of a wellness tracker and gain access to all zones.
We're happy as we are.
Please make your way back to your designated zone.
Activate rapid point deduction for loitering. Head back now or suffer further credit penalty.
Excuse me, is there a problem?
Literally, this is what they want. Oh my god.
Yep. I don't know what that is or what that show
This
is
is from, but
yeah, but that I just like wow, just right in your face.
yeah. Sweet. Did you have specific times for these, or was it just the whole thing?
Yeah, that's just a long video. I mean, 13 minutes. It's
Okay, let me skip the intro.
I mean, yeah, you do the intro probably.
Okay, let's go.
You do the intro, and then if anybody wants, they could go and
Okay.
watch the whole thing.
Okay.
So imagine living in a country where different behaviors, the way you live, they have a social credit score, and if you do good things, you get good scores. If you do bad things, you get points taken away from you, such as if you have bad driving or traffic offenses. If you watch too much porn, you lose points, okay? Jaywalking, smoking on trains, not cleaning up after your dog, you lose points on your social credit score. Not having your dog on a leash, you lose points. Not paying taxes, okay. Playing too many video games, you lose points. Making frivolous purchases, consuming too much alcohol or junk food, criticizing the government, you lose a lot of points. Criticizing the social credit system, visiting unauthorized websites, being friends with or messaging others with low scores, or those who commit the above offenses, you lose scores. You may say, there's no way something like this exists. There's a country out there called China that is using this system called the social credit score system that other countries are watching and saying, what a brilliant idea. We're going to talk about that today. So listen, quick warning, by the time you watch this video, you may be inspired to want to move to China because it's just such a wonderful place to live where people can control your decisions, your thoughts. You have a scoring system. So brace for impact. The inspiration is going to go higher the longer you stick around. But if this thing gives you value, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So by 2022, an estimated 80% of provinces, regions, and cities had introduced some version of the system. More than 33 million businesses in China have already been given a score under some version of the corporate social credit system. And China's social credit system rates individuals, ready, based on the aggregation and analysis of data. In some trials, they have involved a single numerical score between 1 to 1,000, similar to a FICO score. Sometimes it's A through D. But it's not like the FICO score that you're thinking about in America. So don't be like, well, what's wrong with that? We have that in America. I got a 620 FICO score. I got an 820 FICO score. Very, very different FICO score. In America, your FICO score has nothing to do with how much porn you consume or how much video games you consume. Brandon got nervous for a second because that was the part he was not happy about. However, we're going to keep this in and we're going to continue.
Of course, that's what they joke about and make light, right? Like, they just gotta, they gotta advertise it.
Here's what the future's going to be like. You walk into the store with these 15-minute cities, these smart cities. You walk into the clothing store and you go, ooh, this shirt looks good. There's no tag on it. You put it in your basket. Oh, I need a pair of socks. I need some underwear. You throw it in your basket. No tags on any of it. You walk out. You check your app. You've been deducted, $326 because of, inflation, right? Your t-shirt's going to be expensive. Mm-hmm. But where does that money come from? What does money mean? It's all going to be a social credit score.
Yeah.
As we're moving into the AI world, automation, the calls for UBI and all this stuff, how will you get money to be able to go in and grab those clothes? You're going to be a good model citizen. You're going to be high social credit score. And then if you have a high social credit score, they're going to say, you've got an extra $2,000 allotted to you this month for having a score over 800. Mm-hmm. And then you can walk in, take whatever you want. You walk into the McDonald's or whatever, and you just press cheeseburger, and then just boom, pops right up for you, and you don't even got to transact anything. It's all tracking you. It's looking at your eyes, looking at your face. The machine is watching you everywhere you go.
Yeah, dude, it's like they're already starting to implement those things. You see it here and there, right? But it's like, man, they want to go full
They want everyone to know that it's there too and be okay with it. But it's some of the technology
So
is
in China,
right there in front of our face, where you'll be talking about certain subjects, conversations with people, and your device will all of a sudden begin suggesting those things.
Yep.
You never search for it, but it just wants to all of a sudden now try to cater information accordingly.
And it acts like we would. They almost like I guess you're right. Like they kind of put it in your face, because it's like you have to notice that if you're any semblance of a human being using your brain, right? Like, wow, I was just talking about cucumber hair. Face cream. And then boom, I have ads coming up for that specific thing, right?
Exactly. And multiple times.
Yeah.
And other people, everyone else I've ever known confirming the same thing. It's like, okay, that's like, if you call that a conspiracy, then I need to call a doctor because you need help.
Yeah. And going to what Tim Bull was just saying about, like, it's not even going to be money anymore. It's going to be, that's your social credit score is the amount of funds allotted to you. You know what I mean?
It's part of, like you said, the universal basic income. It's a part of that, where it's like you're awarded at a certain amount of credits, and that those credits are just imaginary on that, kind of like your bank account money, although it's not totally imaginary.
No, it's like 7-Eleven. You get points every time you buy something.
Exactly.
It's like worse
for
than that.
everything.
It's like just points. Like you don't
can't
use
be
dollars.
paid under the table. It's like every transaction must be tracked, and it's all got to be approved and recording, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
When you look at your pay stub today, you see, they took your state tax out, you took the federal tax out, your Social Security, medical, and you see all these different lines, and then, you have your gross pay, and you have your more gross pay, the one that you actually get.
Yeah, your net.
And so now I can just see you're going to have another line, another couple lines there. It's, you got this many credits, or we remove this many credits. So, you get paid whatever, and you see your total that they actually get. You may be disappointed, or you may be happy. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like at the end of the year when they go to, like, you do your taxes, but they're like, we've automatically removed $4,500 from your bank account.
Yeah.
Because you were negligent, or whatever the word is, when you're deficient in payment. For the amount that they claim you owe at the end of the year. Because sometimes they return money to you, but sometimes that you obviously gave them. But.
And I kind of wonder if this whole, like, and we all know that the IRS is bogus, the Federal Reserve is bogus, right? But they're corrupt systems that kind of work, right? But if then the replacement for that system is this AI, kind of based thing, then that's not necessarily a good replacement. Like, I'd rather have the old corrupt, not monitored, not,
Yeah.
It's a weird trade-off.
I think that's just living in a optimistic glass half full.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're getting screwed either way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Sweet. All right. Well, let's keep chugging.
For example, God, this is going to happen here, I think, too. Although maybe people will fight it. If a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has you. It has your blood now. It has your genetic code. It has your photograph. It can identify how you walk, so even if you can't see a face, you can be picked up by gait. It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judiciary at all, and show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so they know that.
Get rid of petty laws and
useless
officials, right? There doesn't need to be anyone there to write you that ticket. No, we don't need a police officer to catch you doing that. We don't need you to then to then get the ticket and then pay us out of your own funds. No, we're going to reach directly into your pocket. The fact that they can even do that, right? That's because the banking system is intrinsically tied with the government, right? And so anything the banking system has access to, the government has access to, right?
Which in some way that is actually already the case, where you know, like, you can have your assets frozen, and you can be, you know, accused of a crime that you didn't even commit, but just accused of it, and based on that accusation and not even necessarily evidence, they could freeze all your assets in your bank account and restrict you from, you know, being able to be a flight, you know, flight risk or something like that, and leave. So it's wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you have jaywalked and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, then you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games. You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city. All that's already in place in China.
Absolutely bonkers. All right, sweet. Got some more here. Let's check this out.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it. And anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wen Wang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wen Wang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiao Wen Wang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my score.
I was just gonna say that they give the illusion of choice there, where you should be buying the water instead of the beer. They don't take the beer away from you.
Yeah, why did they even make the beer?
Right? Exactly.
If they didn't want you to drink it.
Exactly. So they give you this kind of but they give you an incentive not to drink it and punishment if you do.
Yeah.
So the choice isn't even really there. It's just there as a trap.
Yeah. And how, it's interesting because it's how do beer companies, aren't beer companies, I guess they can't be because in China, think about if that was implemented here in the U.S. What is Anheuser-Busch going to have to say about that? Wait, all this, which, right, we alcoholism is a bad thing, being a drunkard is a bad thing. Like, we totally believe that, but like, how would that work in a corporate, you know, I guess it's more crony capitalism than it is capitalism. But how would that work compared to like China? Because China can tell like the beer companies like get bent, like
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, unless you pay us a drastic fee for even making it, for allowing us to let it exist.
And you have to know, like the members of the CCP, like they're probably completely above this, or the leadership, like they have it, like they literally, when they go to pay, they have everything's free, everything, like they have unlimited credits, right? And so they can literally be like gods in the society.
Yeah, exactly. Walk through any doors, all doors would just open up for them as they want in. And once they have all the, you know, all the smart meters and, you know, digital locks inside people's houses, that's actually how it will be. They just, anything they want for free, go to buy a car, like you need to chase somebody down and you pass by somebody on the road and you just can open their door and gain access to their vehicle.
Bro, or buying people. Right? What if their credit score goes so low
that they become
that they become like a commodity? Like, oh, now I can purchase you because you're such a debt on society. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, dude, they could do such crazy stuff with it for sure, and you see it kind of here and happening in China.
Yeah, exactly. It's sad.
It's crazy.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. But he only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Liu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry, because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms, and all of us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
After our meeting, Liu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
Literally insane, bro. Like, what the heck? Like, how are those people just rolling over and allowing their government to do that?
There's
Like,
so many people that are just okay with it.
well, we saw it. Like, oh yeah, the government posted their pictures
Those
and said
people
that they
need
were
to be
bad. They need
condemned.
to be bad. Like,
they need, like,
pay.
they revel in the fact that they feel that there's actual just justice happening, but they don't understand the own injustices within their corrupt governments that, you know, far outweigh someone's jaywalking or whatever they may do on a bad day.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
And it's not like they're held accountable, right? Like, prove to me, like, who goes to those people and says, prove to me that they're at a 0.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why would they even care, right?
Yep.
Oh my God, so crazy.
We now have a social credit system right here in the United States that has been installed quietly, interestingly, not by the government, but instead by private businesses and banks. It's in similar ways, really, to the way the Chinese Communist Party's social credit system works. Rather than use a CCP standard of adherence to the ruling regime, it's instead based on the social justice standards under ESG, or environmental and social governance. As ESG criteria assesses businesses' sustainability and ethics, a personal ESG score, just like the big corporate ones, offers insight into a person's commitment to sustainable practices, and apparently we're all committed to this whether we like it or not. Your personal ESG score is calculated based on three main factors: environmental, social, and governance, which includes, for example, your purchase history. What products are you choosing to buy? Already, apparently, purchasing a gun, buying alcohol, or other items can affect your personal ESG score. Your sales history, your public records, including your credit reports. All of these are considered to gauge your impact on the environment and society. But because people don't want these things, they've found that they have to try to force people to want these things.
Yeah, dude, that's literally insane. And we saw it in your video where it was talking about, what was it, MasterCard or whatever. Like, they're gonna start tracking your purchases and figuring out how much, you know, carbon your purchases
affect and limit you on it. And they say, oh, it's totally voluntary for the people who want to do it, but it's like, yeah, but you're just test running a concept that is built on a complete fabrication. The whole it's funny because the whole climate change thing, for them to claim our
China's social credit.
The carbon footprint is like something we have to be careful for, because, you know, Greta Thunberg and her generation is going to all die off before they're 30 because of, you know, all the glaciers melting, rising sea levels and stuff. So it's just,
how dare you?
Exactly, yeah. And so she, you know, this whole idea, it once again stems on this concept of this Earth being this spaceship Earth out in the universe, just, you know, on its voyage, and we're like the captains and we have to be like responsible for it, which I do agree, like, we are to be stewards of the Earth and stuff, and like to not be destructive. But what they claim is that we are the problem. Literally, us breathing are the problem, and the animals we eat are the problem, and that we need to eat bugs and do as they say, and break what is known as human tradition for, you know, all of mankind, which is that we ate cows.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, it's just, it all requires the entire deception in order for the people to believe. Like all those people in China, I guarantee they all believe that entire narrative. That they are all they bond people under like a trauma response from that, where it's like you will be solely responsible for extincting mankind if you don't change the way mankind does things now. And it's a crazy mindset.
Well, and they do it a lot through entertainment, right? Like, think about all the movies and whatever, when like the world is fresh and renewed, like, you know, like how they kind of give that, like, what is it, The Happening, right? Where the plants turn and they start, all these people start dying, and it's like, well, that's what the earth needed to be in balance, you know what I mean? And so, and yeah, they blame us, but they're the ones, the top people are the corporations that are producing these factories, that are producing these
all the
chemicals, and
flying private jets and using more carbon emission in one single day than like 100 people use in their entire lifetimes. You know, it's to me insane, the hypocrisy. But that's like, those people are figures of power in a way where you know, especially in the social credit system, where you can't speak against anyone like that, or else you just get docked. So luckily we're blessed right now in some way. We just get censored.
All right, let's keep checking.
System. How much are you following that? Are you following pretty closely? Okay, so let's kind of process how many of you guys are familiar with the China social credit system? If you don't, let's kind of go through it together. So an estimated 80% of the provinces, regions, and cities have some sort of this social credit system. More than 33 million businesses in China have to follow this system. Now you may say, what does this look like? There's such things in America that we have a FICO score, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. These guys take it to a whole different level. Let me unpack that for you. For an individual action.
I don't think people understand the degree to which they are profiled online and to which their virtual representation is now an iconic representation of them, nor do they understand that they have no rights whatsoever to that representation. So, for example, let's say we turn our information about our purchasing habits over to the bank when we open a bank account. 30 years ago, that wasn't such a big problem. With AI systems, it's a problem that's so big you can't imagine it. I mean, I'm certain that my staff could find the data online to absolutely predict your voting patterns with 95% accuracy. You have no idea what sort of digital footprint that you're leaving behind you, and there are almost no protections for that. And so now, and you also asked about the First Amendment.
Yes.
Well, we have very weak free speech protections in Canada, and I can tell you that is not going well. And so the combination in my country, the combination of that.
Candice, your thoughts on the social credit system and potentially coming down here?
It's already here. It's very slowly. They tried to radically introduce it during the times of COVID. If you want to go back to one of their lies, the dollar bills have you can get dollar from dollar bills. Everything has to now be electronic. Don't use cash. One way that you can fight this system that is definitely coming is to use cash as much as possible. I keep cash on me now. Oh, am I going to get robbed? This wasn't smart. This is secure, right?
Yes.
We're good. And at the time of COVID, I was also pregnant, and when we went to the doctor, suddenly they didn't want you to fill out forms, so they got a bunch of people to agree to migrate all of their stuff online, their health information online. And I refused. I was like, print out paper. I like little things like this make a difference. Read the small print. Speaking of doctors, I went to the dermatologist the other day. Read the small print, the fine print, on what you are agreeing to. Everyone just fills that out really quickly. Unbelievable. I literally sat there and she's like, I've never seen anybody read it. Right? I read it and I was like, I absolutely agree to none of this, so I can't sign this. Are you still going to be able to check my face? Because I don't want to go into some system. We can use this information to do, we can share this information with the government to put into their systems. For check a pimple? Like just one pimple? Like I don't want to do that. So you have to be especially aware that they're already doing this, and he is absolutely correct, Dr. Jordan Peterson, in saying that the threat of them just constantly being able to take this data for you, to follow your digital footprint online. This is why it's really important to have like a VPN server. I mean, I put myself in all different countries all the time because I'm very aware.
They put our entertainment online. They put our purchasing online. They put our banking online, our bill pay online. Like
pretty soon it'll just be all one thing.
Yeah.
And then that one thing, for the convenience of you never getting robbed for it, losing it, or anything else, should just go right inside of you.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and we can't put it in your. We got to put it in your brain, because then people can just chop your arm off and take your code.
Yeah. Although if it's linked to your heart rate and everything like that, and the chip knows to
if it can watch your biometrics.
You're dead. Yeah, exactly. Like
totally. Yeah.
That they're doing this, and you will see, ironically, that the same people that are telling you that they do not want people to have IDs are going to be the same people that are advocating for this system. They're the exact same people.
Who would say such a thing, though, to not have IDs?
No, this is great. We should be able to do this and monitor. They want to know where you are every second of every day.
They already do, though.
And predict your patterns.
The idea that this hasn't happened already, a VPN doesn't insulate you. I don't know how much IT you do.
I don't want to hear that guy talk, so... anyways, yeah, she's absolutely right.
Mr. Jabi? Hi, can you hear me? We can hear you. Hi, my name is Aman Jabi. I'm a resident of Big Fork, Montana.
That's not bad.
I've had over 25 years of experience in Silicon Valley. I've developed imaging and cameras, and I've worked on optics and technologies that have been sold to companies doing facial recognition and 3D cameras. I have a deep expertise in this area. Unfortunately, I've been attending these meetings for the HJ48 now for the last 5 or 6 months. And it still seems that people don't have a grasp on what actually facial recognition is, how it can be used, and how it is going to be used. There's a common underlying theme that I heard again from the speakers. It's about solving crime. It's about safety and security for the public. And obviously, people were concerned about privacy. And whenever you hear about privacy with facial recognition, it's a red herring. Because in reality, when facial recognition is done in the digital world with artificial intelligence algorithms, you are guaranteed privacy. Because all the data for the face will be stored on blockchains, and it'll be immutable, and it won't be able to be seen by most humans or almost no humans. It'll all be done by artificial intelligence algorithms. So
how much,
if you go back and
literally, how much
years,
faith they have in the blockchain. It's like they're God. They're like, oh no, we don't need to be worried because it'll be stored in the blockchain, and no one has access to the blockchain.
Right. Like they created something that is more supreme than humans, essentially.
Yeah.
And it is how they hail it. They're like, we don't even know how AI did it.
Yeah. We don't even fully understand the blockchain. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They created something that, and hey, you know what? Maybe that's the case. They're dealing with some type of
demonic
angel, type of watcher technology that they're just like following some ancient instruction manual, and they're just connecting things, and poof, things are happening, and they can't understand it. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
In 2018, the United Nations released an urgent report emphasizing the need to cut carbon emissions in half by 2030 in order to avoid an irreversible climate crisis. The average consumer in Sweden causes around 10 tons of carbon emissions each year, of which 60% is linked to consumption. Later in 2018, Doconomy, a Swedish fintech, took on the challenge and launched Do, a mobile banking service for everyday climate action. The Do app is connected to a credit card that enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint.
Were you just saying about a system that would have it all in one place, and that's like literally what they're doing?
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that it's all intrinsically tied to the globe, right?
Well, it was just being discussed.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
it's kind of interesting though. These United Nations certified green project. United Nations doesn't use a globe in their logo.
Yeah.
From each purchase, and to compensate for its impact day by day. This spring, Doconomy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
Maybe we should just finish it real quick.
Okay.
Do Black helps you track your climate impact and ensures that you reduce it by 50% in line with the UN 2030 recommendation.
The core purpose of Do Black is not only the ability to measure the impact of your consumption, but also bringing it to a direct halt, making it a radical tool against climate change.
For years, credit cards have put a limit on our credit.
Yeah. Do the people who get these cards, who limit themselves like that, just love the smell of their own, farts? Because it's just, it's like you buy a Prius to save the world, save the environment. I don't know. There's just something about being convinced of something without doing any research that just screams stupid to me. It's very sheepish behavior. Where it's like you're willingly putting not just yourself in a trap scenario where they're like, nope, you've reached your limit now. Stop breathing. Your carbon limit has been reached.
Sorry, you bought sneakers, a shirt, and a DVD. You can no longer buy food because you're, Every
breath you take, it's like going in the negative. It's like, people do that to themselves. They just
elect it, right?
Exactly. And
there's
then,
always that group that will elect to go into slavery.
Yes, exactly, and bring everyone else down into it because they're like, oh, well, we've tried the system, it works, everyone loves it, right? Everyone, yes, and then they just apply it for everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go this back. This goes along with Black Mirror, so actually let's play this first and then we'll end it on Black Mirror.
Hi everybody, it is January 22nd, 2025. If you did not see Trump make his announcement yesterday, Stargate, AI data centers, the $500 billion investment in the United States, well, I'm going to play just a few minutes of it. Oh boy, he loves Larry Ellison. After this, just, 2-minute clip, uninspired, earth-shaking announcement, a new age begins. Oh, that golden age. We're here. Trump selected to bring in the social credit system, to bring in the digital currency, to cement us in the new world order, the prison. Okay, just a couple of clips, and do want to point out that the links will be below in the description area of the video. The link to Earth-Shaking Announcement, A New Age Begins, Inspired's video will be there. Click on the link, check out his channel, subscribe. And watch this, please, this video, and circulate it. It's very interesting to me how, the red team, and I've known people on the red team, still stuck in the matrix. For some reason, they were arguing that all presidents are elected until Trump came along, and, all presidents are selected until Trump came along. Somehow Trump just blew through the matrix. And your vote counted. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Trump was elected, selected. He's bringing us a world, selected to bring us a world that none of us want to be living in at all. Okay, stay safe, everybody, because 2025 is going to be one hell of a ride.
It's my honor to welcome three of the world's leading technology CEOs. And in the case of Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology. He's sort of CEO of everything. He's an amazing man, an amazing business person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say the by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in a...
Isn't it interesting? Let me pull this up. Isn't it interesting how they choose the name Stargate? It kind of reminds me of the whole, the reason why they chose to name that movie Frozen, because if you did Walt Disney Frozen, you would come up with the movie before you'd come up about articles about Walt Disney being frozen. Mm-hmm. So in the same way, you search Stargate, you get this company, it's going to be on the top of, and people are... And for the truthers out there, isn't it kind of weird that they're naming it Stargate, and it's these tech companies.
Yeah, and especially like knowing what they historically understood Stargates to be, which were like they believed that their gods were in the stars, were like the stars or whatever it was, and that they came down through gates or portals sometimes, and that there were these entities that would literally come from heaven to earth and visit mankind and teach knowledge. It's just interesting to me with the whole alien narrative.
Well, and with the AI narrative too, right? Like they are going to be opening a portal.
Yeah,
right.
Like they've said, like Elon has even claimed, where it's it's like the priest, and he's got the holy water and the pentagram, and he's like summons the demon, but he can't quite put him back in the sigil or in the ritual circle. Yeah, and it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
And welcome, Frankie B. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, what's up, buddy? I heard that Disney's so woke that they changed Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to the seven entities. Now they're not dwarfs; they're entities.
Oh.
They're like some created beings or something.
Which is so weird because they're not even supposed to be like little people. They're supposed to be like mythical dwarfs.
Yeah.
Like elves and dwarves.
Like dwarves were like a race of not little people with dwarfism.
Yeah.
But like literal like battle axe and,
and beards and big belly.
Exactly. Like literally in Celtic and in different Nordic mythologies, there were dwarves. Like that's not a concept that was created in this scientific new age doctrine that they try to teach now. It's like, no, that was actually something people believed, just like they believed there were like little other mythical creatures like fairies and stuff that stole children,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I heard the dwarf community is very upset because they're not being used. It's AI derivative.
It's weird all around for sure. Let's keep chugging though.
Welcome, guys. Hey, what's up?
And happy anniversary, Frankie B. 11-year anniversary with your wife. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, it was 11 years. 11 years of marriage bliss.
Nice. All right, let's keep chugging.
Structure in the United States and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential.
You look even better. Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer vaccine. It's very interesting. And it turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So imagine.
Just imagine, they're going to cure cancer with AI, right? Okay, that mRNA vaccine.
So real quick, like, they're talking about CRISPR technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally designer drugs based upon the person to cause like what maybe an epigenetic response to literally have their genes change.
Exactly, and which is crazy because looking at just what we know with the mRNA, shots that were given out recently, the jabs that were given out recently, they introduce foreign DNA on multiple levels to your body, and your body has this response to it to create antibodies to fight it, and it's spike proteins, and it's sitting there on overload, constantly trying to fight something that you put in your body as a response to fight something else, supposedly
on the outside of your body,
supposedly coming and potentially affecting it. And they've classified it in different ways. We obviously know like myocarditis and pericarditis, like inflammation of the heart tissue. But most people just have full-on AIDS. Like, no, I don't mean to be like so blunt about it, but it's autoimmune deficiency. You have a disorder where your immune system cannot fight and respond normally anymore because you've genetically altered yourself at a DNA level. It's insane.
It's crazy. And this is just like one step, right? Like they want to have this in your body. I almost want it almost was like he was gonna say nano, and then he was like, you know what I mean? Right. It almost sounded like he was about to say nanotechnology, and then he kind of like stopped.
Which is probably already implemented in part of the PCR testing, as well as in obviously.
Well, I always thought that was so weird with the sticking it all the way up and touching the brain. You know what I mean?
The mucus blood-brain barrier, where literally that membrane there can, like, if you can get just like a drug or anything else, if you can get it on there, it will literally dissolve and go through your mucous membrane there and go into your bloodstream directly into your brain. It's crazy.
It's literally insane. All right, let's keep chugging.
And AI is going to create an mRNA vaccine in 48 hours. Operation Warp Speed. Larry Ellison.
Stargate Warp Speed.
Then here he is. Now they always sell the public on the miracles of this technology, the medical miracles. They don't discuss the other applications of this technology. Well, Larry Ellison did right here.
The police will be on their best behavior. Because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times.
They always say it's for this reason, right? Like, cops are so bad that we have to monitor everything we do. How can't you get behind that? If you're not behind that, you're a bad person, right? And they start it with the cops, and then they go to these group, and to this group, and then eventually, everyone.
How do people fall for that? Because obviously, I trust any police officer more than I trust the government that would be watching them.
Yeah, the individual I trust way more than the organization that would be over them.
Exactly.
It's so preposterous.
It's crazy. It's like, no, don't trust the police. We'll We'll handle them.
Yeah.
You just trust us. You be on your best behavior, and we'll make sure they're on their best behavior.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what does that mean when you want them to do something against me?
Yeah.
You know, morally even conflicting to them. They're like, well, I gotta be on my best behavior. AI told me to.
Yeah. Insane, bro. And their supervisors are going to be AI. Like, they're going to literally, this is what you should do now, following the book.
Exactly.
You know?
Your next, and your next mission, your next task, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, well, it could be total dystopian nightmare at that point.
Yeah. Yep.
And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop. A drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation of autonomous drones.
Wow. So, it sure...
What happens when that car is not going to stop and smashes into, a van full of people because an officer didn't, pit maneuver the car off the road or something like that.
And like if your solution is we're just going to have drones, like they've always done, police created body armor, criminals created bullets that could go through the body armor, right? Like Teflon if they like a reason why criminals use fast cars is to get away from fast police cars, right? So if all of a sudden the new thing is drones follow them, they're gonna find a way to hack the drones or shoot the drones, or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, they always sell like these solutions as they're the all be and all. I was talking about this with my wife the other day. Plastic, right? Like I can show you old videos of how like plastic, the material of the future that will lead us into the space and the stars, right? With this material, it's so versatile and you can use it in so many ways, blah, 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 blah. Now, fast forward, 50 years, they're like, plastic is a detrimental part of our society. It's like we need to get rid of it. Yes. We need to build our spaceships out of wood. Do you know what I mean?
I wish you would.
Yeah. It's like, no, dude.
How dare you?
They're gonna, like, their goal is gonna be, like, growing spaceships that, like, organically burst and give them velocity. Like,
right, you get to go. Here's your spaceship seed, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'll sell you them like Jack and the Beanstalk. Come on, buy them.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, I can grow a spaceship. Oh my god, Becca, I know what we're doing for our 5th, anniversary. Like, anyway, so it's crazy. Any thoughts there, Frankie B or Robert? If not, we can just keep chugging. So this last little bit, we're gonna look.
There's a theory that.
Go ahead.
There's a theory that after the year 2000, when they said that the computers would reset, that AI took over, and from the year 2000 to now, we've had really no culture change. Like every decade had some type of significant thing that would show forth the decade, whether it was the music, the fashion, the culture. From the year 2000 to now, it's pretty much just a reboot of everything. Like Disney just came out with Snow White and the Seven Entities. They can't even reboot like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. They can't come up with any new ideas. It's because AI has continually has taken over our culture, and there's no creativity released from outside entities. They're not letting anyone enter into the sphere of creation where fashion is changing, where music is changing. Everything's like a reboot, and it's all centered on a certain control group. And the theory is that AI is running everything. They don't want no one to gain great wealth with their creativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, so I could kind of see that. I more think that it's still coming online, and little by little they're bringing it online. The reason why I say that is because, like, for instance, with Elon Musk, right? Like, if he came out and said, "Hey, we just fired 40,000 IRS agents because now we have an AI system that can replace those jobs," people would be up in arms. Everyone would be, right? But if he comes out and says, "Hey, I've eliminated 40,000 jobs from the IRS, that's going to save us a whole bunch of money," right? We're going to share that money with the American people. Then they can slowly add in AI to these various systems across our government for that end. I think like as we've kind of seen, you weren't here the whole time, which is okay, but it's first being especially like in China, it's done by the government, but in America, it's being implemented by corporations. And see, all the kind of, I guess the advantage we have as Americans is all of those corporations are biting to be the special boy, right? The special company. And so they're at each other's throats, right? Like the only competition is sin in their eyes, right? They're trying to be the big one. And so the only one. And so that kind of slows them down because we don't have one government AI program where they're taking all the people who are doing AI and bringing them in. We have Google doing it and Amazon doing it and this company doing it and this company doing it. So it's all, it's all, what is that? Cannot think of the word, but like in corporate or like in governments where they'll only give information to certain groups of people.
Oh, like NASA with
what is that?
Hierarchy of information.
Something compartmentalization of information, right? Yeah. So yeah, bro, eventually when that opens up, in my eyes it hasn't been running, I think.
But the technology, it seems like
has been developing.
Well, like for instance, with my phone, like before the Meta AI, whatever it's like, was on our devices, it wasn't like we bought a new device and it was like, now with the Meta AI.
Yeah.
It didn't have that. It was like your phone didn't have it, and then your phone did have it. So, to kind of pay some kind of points towards what Frankie was saying, like that's probably around the time when they were like developing and starting to perfect some of the technology to push it out there to where it could set the foundation for this very thing. But now it's like everything is created and interlaced so that AI can function on it.
I almost feel like the algorithms, the actual digital algorithm, like equations, were given by entities.
Yeah, that's actually what they kind of tell us.
Yeah, with Jack Parsons and
that, with that too. But the guys who built the computer and programmed the internet, for some reason there's some drug usage and some talking to entities,
spirits, aliens.
You get these weird stories about why how these things first started and came into existence. It wasn't just out of some dude had an idea in his basement. It was he was given it, which is kind of funny because
like our logo has. I work for Coca-Cola. Our logo hasn't changed in 20 years, and it was supposed to change. It was supposed to change every 5 years, but our logo has been the same since 2005 or 6. I mean, we came up with new commercial ideas, but our logo hasn't changed. And before that, there was creative ideas where our logo would change, where the configuration of the word Coca-Cola would change. It doesn't change anymore. It's just been the same for the last 20 years.
Well, to be honest, I feel like that's with every startup, because like think about Starbucks, they changed until they kind of got their symbol. Home Depot changed till they got their symbol. Burger King, changed.
Yeah, but their their symbol is a kind of like a Freemason symbol, like the word Coca-Cola. Our logo has 666 involved in it.
Yeah,
and it hasn't changed in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Starbucks put that upside down cross in theirs with the mermaid thing, and it's all their symbols are all pointing to a Freemason or a elitist agenda. You know what I'm saying?
They all have. They always have. That's the weirdest thing about.
Yeah, but the symbols were changing. Now they're just going with the same symbol for the last 20 years.
I wonder how much of that is
behind it is that it's AI driven. What's that?
I said I wonder how much of that is just brand recognition, right? Like Apple went through a whole bunch of iterations, but everyone now knows Apple's symbol, right? So they don't even need to have like letters by it. They can just show that thing and people know what they're talking about. Just like the Pepsi logo as an example, like it used to be written out Pepsi. Now it's just this like kind of simple symbol, but everyone who sees that symbol knows what that symbol is. So I feel like at a certain point, it's just kind of redundant in the branding and marketing to keep changing and changing and changing when people are familiar with your company. So I feel like new companies do change and iterate that logo, and kind of coming from a graphic designer perspective. But then once they kind of hit that established corporation, there's no point in it.
The big corporations are cutting out human interaction. Now it's just a AI driven logo, and they're going with that, and they're not paying anyone to come up with new creative ideas.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
It's so much of AI will take over the creative. That was the whole big strike thing in Hollywood, because they're using AI. They're like, we're not going to pay you to write these scripts when we basically know that you're using AI to write a big portion of it and then presenting it as, your work and wanting to be paid, right? So because AI is out there, we're going to pay you less because we know that you are using these resources to make make it easier. So what is in my hair?
Yeah, they can just have AI check if AI wrote it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're taking an opportunity for someone to be creative and make money.
No, of course, because create that's like one of the more expensive things to do. So.
Like, I want to use one of my songs for a slogan for Coca-Cola, but I'm not sure that they'll approve it because everything's AI driven. They can get it cheaper from AI.
Yeah,
they don't have
to pay it. And their logo is so worldwide known, they don't need anything else to promote their product anymore.
Well, the biggest issue I would say with what you're saying, though, ultimately is they have already said creations created by AI cannot be copyrighted. So if they started making movies and stuff purely upon AI generated art, then they could never stop people from downloading. Like, they would have no right to punish people for pirating it, as an example, because they don't own the rights to it. They couldn't stop people from copying it and selling it cheaper. So,
but they could stop that whole thing altogether by just providing the masses with their bread and circuses on their screens, to where they have unlimited forms of entertainment in front of them, and no one even considers copywriting anything because it's all given to you for free. It's
well, and I think ultimately they'll go to basically an open sandbox where anything you can kind of imagine or think happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like in
immersive movies that are just like you said, like a sandbox.
Yeah, and so it's like you could do anything. You know what I mean? Like there would be no copyrighted because they basically like, here we can just create your own world. You know. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Alrighty, well, we got a few more videos. We're gonna finish off the stream with Black Mirror episode Social Credit Score. If you haven't checked out Black Mirror, it is pretty interesting because I feel like it gives you some nuggets of what they imagine, what they kind of hope to do. But it is dark. It is not, the greatest. It doesn't make you feel happy after watching it. So just warning there. But this is one of the episodes, and we're going to watch a few bits from it and then kind of talk about it.
This is the normal you. Before this obsession, when we had conversations, remember? This whole ranking thing, just comparing yourself to people.
It's a really horrible
pretend to be happy.
clip, yeah.
Hi there, how you? That's the way they want everything.
Yeah, it's like all pastel and like muted.
Yeah, they want everything like conformed, and they don't want you speaking out. They don't want you having emotions.
Yeah.
Just going with the AI programming.
It's insane, bro.
Fourth the Matrix.
Yeah, it really is sad. And what's crazy is people, like, it's not on this level right now, but there are a lot of people who wouldn't mind this. You know what I mean? And the thing is like whatever side it comes through, whether it's Republican or Democrat, same, whatever, one wing of the dragon, whatever way it comes in, right? Like people are going to feel like justified. Like think about if it comes to this woke thing, right? Like if you propagize or say any woke thing, right, you're going to be docked social credit, right? And all the people that would be like, yeah, right, that would praise that. Mm-hmm. And then once they get that side under control, it's flipped, and now you're the enemy.
Exactly. But there will always be certain things that are like no-nos, which are things like we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you can't talk about the agenda. You can only talk about one side we allow at a time.
Dude, and it's eventually going to get to religion, right? Where if you're not speaking the world religion,
that's where it's really going to be persecuted.
Yeah,
probably. Like
yeah.
they're gonna,
what's when brothers are going to turn and
exactly. It's almost going to be like the Crusades against each other.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be the compliant people against free thinking people.
Yep. Goats versus the sheep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was one. Let's check this other one. Oh, by the way,
only
real quick.
4 stars. She's like, wait, why did this person only give me 4 stars?
Yeah. Dude, some I learned on Big Bear, Owen Benjamin's podcast. Zucker. Do you know what Zucker means? It means sugar.
Huh. Interesting.
And think about these interactions.
What does Berg mean?
City.
Huh. Interesting.
Sugar City.
Huh.
And he's dripping sugar to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Lacey, got you a smoothie.
Yeah, they really want.
So yeah, there's that whole. I can't. I probably even get in trouble for playing what little that I did, but That Netflix series is quite crazy, and there's more than that. There's like one and rewatch like people's memories, and it's like that's another thing. All the bees have died, so they have electronic bees or like robot bees. And then someone hacks the system, and then on a social app you choose who dies, and then the bees go and kill that person. And so it's like they're showing what they really kind of want and what type of power and control they're after in this form, because it's predictive programming, right? It's getting people used to those kind of concepts, but they always slow drip it, right? Especially in America, because of the division and the separation of the corporations. Even though that's like it's getting more and more condensed, right? Right now they're still separate, special boys competing.
Right.
And so
to some degree.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I don't know how they're gonna fully implement it, like in ways I can see how it is implemented. We kind of already have that through like kind of the credit score system, right? But like specifically social credit, I feel like it's a lot of like it's basically clout based or influencer based right now, where it's not like they probably are tracking it. Like, don't get me wrong, like they probably have all the resources, they're grabbing the data, but I'm not necessarily sure that they have it fully implemented just yet. Maybe, I don't know. That's my opinion. I could totally be wrong, but I think they're working towards it.
I think so too.
They say that China has like a social score and all these things are taking place, but do we really know? I mean, because everything that comes out of these other countries to us is propaganda, but when you would go to that actual country, that none of these things are actually taking place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I could see, like the people that are, doing the interviews, is China really going to let, journalists from other countries come in and do interviews with their blacklisted citizens, and then leave the country with that information to share to the world? Yeah, there is some suspect in it, but I think at the very least, them talking about it in China as if it's already implemented is like a way to have people kind of wax cold about it coming to them.
It's not them talking about it. It's us talking about these things are going on in China. It's not really coming out of China. They keep themselves, Well,
I will actually just
it's just our propaganda media is talking about the things that are going on in China.
No, I will, bro. I will say that China has come out and said, right, like we have implemented these things. Like you can get press releases from the CCP of them implementing these things as a positive thing for their society. So I do believe they're doing it, but I'm saying I can at least see your side, because it's not like I trust the Chinese government, right? So, but yeah,
it's a huge area too.
Yeah,
I don't really trust our media to report on it.
Yeah,
because they can report on anything and make any story up.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I do think though that they use, like for instance, China as a guinea pig style system
for implement, because they can easily,
and they want, regardless of whether we think that's propaganda or not, we know that's what they want. They want these smart cities. They want full domination, full total, control.
Why pay, a thousand parking ticket police people in a city when you can just do it through the social credit system, right? Like the camera, you don't
automatically picks up that person parked illegally and
sees them
doesn't even send a ticket
or
anything, just deducts their money
straight
and
out of
puts their face in their car where it's illegally parked up on the sign, so other people can laugh and mock at that person.
And then it said if other people then associate with them,
that they get
that they get deducted too.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, guys, but we're not there. They are trying to build that system, and so any and every way that we can kind of push it back in our lives, we should. Not participate in these type of things. It does look scary. It does look daunting, right? But then again, greater is He who is in us than who is in the world. And they can form all the weapons they want, but what's the worst they can do? Is why fear him who can only kill the body, and not him who can kill the body and the soul. So, all glory to the Father, and whatever wicked plans that they can come up with, they're going to come up with. But we know in a single day that is all going to get torn down, and we're going to be in an actual age of peace, in an actual age of love, and compassion and mercy and grace. And so yeah, bring it on. Come and take it. Let's do it. So sweet. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed. We'll go ahead and say our goodbyes and call it a stream. We'll jump over to you, Robert. Your final thoughts and goodbyes.
Yeah, like you say, Maranatha, come Lord soon. It's going to be some ride. I don't know how quickly this is all going to be coming around. I think it's going to be slowly, and then all of a sudden it's here, So, yeah. I'll just keep on watching, seeing what happens.
Yep. And that's all we can do, right? Is be watchers, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And I think we push off those things personally, right? Like we don't get attached to those as much as we can to those things into the world, right? Like these systems, but we all have to get a license. We all at this point need a phone to work, right? Like there's some things we just can't get around, right? And so render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, right? And render unto the Father's what's his. So absolutely. And thank you for joining us, brother. Let's jump down to Frankie B. Final thoughts and goodbyes.
Yeah. So the word says that the earth is groaning for the manifestations of the sons of man. I think it's really up to us to call forth the love of God and just bring unity to this realm. We're all God's creation, whether it's Nephilim, fallen angels, humanity. We're all creations of God. And we need to be in unity together to bring this world into a place of love and manifestation of God here on earth.
Bro, wait, are you saying we need to be in unity with fallen angels and Nephilim?
Well, and fallen angels are God's creation. Aren't we God's creation too?
I don't think Nephilim are God's creation, bro. He definitely...
Well, they're the sons and daughters of the fallen angels.
And they got punished so much.
Yeah, but still, it's an abomination. We all fall under God's creation.
It's an abomination.
So, for God's creation to dwell in this place, we need to be in unity.
I'm not going to be in unity with abomination, bro. Sorry, not me.
I understand that, but we need to love them as God's creation. I
don't think they're God's creation.
Not saying worship them or submit to them, but bring them into the love of God.
They're not gonna love God.
That's what their punishment is, bro.
Like they're always gonna be.
They're fighting against us because we are redeemed.
Who is fighting?
We're God's creation. We are redeemed. They're fallen, and they feel like they're not redeemed. So they're coming against us. We need to love them and bring them back into God's love. That's just something I'm working on.
Well,
I definitely have empathy or sympathy for evil, right? Like I have sympathy for the devil in the essence that it's like sucks that that's your place in the story, but it's like you still did the things you did. Like we know what the Nephilim did right? What type of beings they were. So in no way, shape, or form do I want to have any relationship with them other than, other than the fact that the only relationship I want to have with them is seeing them being cast into the lake of fire, to be honest. So,
plus we're told
the lake of fire is a
spirits. So
well, I believe that the lake of fire is a cleansing fire. So if they go into the lake of fire,
what just happened?
I don't know. Everything got.
What the heck just happened?
I'm not sure.
That is super weird. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what just happened. Like, literally everything just froze. Whoa.
I froze your internet with that one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Dig deep. Continue to search for the truth.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. That was crazy. Yeah, that's a whole separate topic, but I appreciate your enthusiasm and you joining us. I'll just say, dude, it's crazy. It is what it is, and whatever. Like, if it happens, it happens. I'd still have the Father's protection, so it's like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, So like, yeah, it's scary in a way, but it's like I don't really think we need to be black-pilled. Like, oh my God, it's coming. What are we gonna do? I think we keep living our lives and being righteous men and women, and the Father will have us under His wing.
Even if He draws us, out of where we currently live and walk through a wilderness and provide for us.
Yep.
Like He does John the Baptist, or the Israelites out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the show, and hope to see y'all next week. Same time, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, until next time, guys. Remember, the Abba loved you first. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, I'll be in the Pocono Mountains next week, so I won't be around.